Hi everyone, and welcome to this stage 14 betting preview of the Tour de France. Well, we had quite an exciting stage 13. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch much of it. Had to sort of fast forward later that night, but there was plenty of drama as expected. Yes, the breakaway went away, and I had one man in it, Dan Martin, but unfortunately his legs just aren't there at the moment, and he didn't last. So full marks to Daniel Martinez, who held off the two Bora riders, Kamna and Schachman, on the final climb. It's that final 3 kilometers or so was so steep. It was amazing to watch the guys, I'd say in inverted commas, sprinting against each other, because it looked at stages like they were barely moving. It was unbelievable. An attack just saw a guy's wheel sort of just edge in front of the other guy, and I really do love climbs like that. But it was a good stage, the breakaway, as I say, got it. But the real action for me came a little bit further down. If we look at the rankings, where the Slovenian pairing of Roglic and Pogačar managed to put some time into their rivals. Pogačar started the action with his attack. Roglic managed to follow him fairly comfortably. He certainly has, and we'll look at the outright betting now, shortened into a very, very short price favourite for this Tour de France. Big ride for the day, potentially Richie Porte. He's obviously lost he's lost some time in the crosswinds already, unfortunately. But he lost some ground initially, and then he managed to sort of maintain it. He only lost 13 seconds to the pair above him. Good rides as well, I thought, by Landa and Lopez. And further down, of course, Egan Bernal. He was the disappointment there, losing some time. And you'll see he's slipped he's down to third in the betting, but he's into the sort of double-figure margin now. Decent ride from Uran, and Adam Yates as well actually quite impressed me there at finishing in 20th spot. Let's just have a look at the classifications. Then we've got Roglic now, he leads Pogačar by 44 seconds. Egan Bernal now nearly a minute back. It's going to be hard for him to come back from that. Disappointing. He said after the stage he was on a decent day. The others were just too strong for him. We just, from the race perspective, have to hope that Ineos keep on giving it a go and make it as exciting as possible. Look at those Colombian flags there. Miguel Angel Lopez, he's a minute and a half back. He's my podium pick. So looking at that, I quite like that position. In fact, I'll show you some betting now that suggests there may still be a little bit of value in backing him. Let's just have a look at the other classifications quickly before we get on to the stage itself. We've got the King of the Mountains, which has really started to hot up. Cosnefroy, well, he's hanging on still, as often happens in the Tour de France and other events. The early leader hangs on for a long time, but you could see he's not going to be scoring a lot of points in these mountains. Peter's an early stage winner. Mark Hershey is very much in the betting now and could be a factor in today's stage as well. And if we go down now, you see Dan Martinez. He's up to 14 points now, but he's clearly he's out of contention for the overall, and clearly after yesterday's stage win has got good legs, so he could be one to go for it. We'll have a look at the betting now as well. Quick look at the green jersey, where we've got Sam Bennett still comfortably ahead of Peter Sagan, but watch out today, because I'll tell you what, Bennett did not look good on the climbs yesterday, and the Bora team of Peter Sagan are going to put him under all sorts of pressure. Cannot wait for that. A quick look at the classification betting here on Sunbet. We've got 7-2 Roglic, 7-20 Roglic, 7-2 Pogačar, Bernal out to 15-2. I think I did see a bit of 10-1 at World Sports Betting. It might have been snapped up by now. Mikel Landa 33-1, so bigger prices there. Here's the King of the Mountains. It's always a fascinating contest, this King of the Mountains. It's so difficult to pick a winner. But Martinez now, I would say, he's a worthy favourite at 9-2. Certainly if he decides to go for it. Roland has already made it clear that he's going for it. He's also got decent legs. He's 5-1. I just think on Martinez would have the edge on him if they both focus on the King of the Mountains. Hershey, he's at 10-1, and Gadu there, teammate of Thibaut Pinot, he's at 12-1. But every chance that someone from well off the pace could still come and win that, and every chance that one of the big contenders like Pogačar or Roglic could also win that jersey. Here, the green jersey race, Sam Bennett 4-9, Peter Sagan 7-4. It does look a 2-horse race. Vote for that. Probably out of things because he's not going for the sprints, but you never know. I mean, you'll see his favourite for today's stage. If he wins this, you never know. He could get himself back into contention. I think if I was able to lay, and I do have a mate who will lay a bet for me, I think now's the time to start laying Sam Bennett for the green jersey. I think Bora are going to put him under pressure. And I didn't like what I saw of Bennett yesterday. I do think he potentially could be running into some problems and might actually battle to finish. So he's definitely not a back for me at 4-9. Potentially a lay. The team classification's been interesting because Movistar went into 9-10 favourites, but EF Pro Cycling had a great day yesterday, and they moved now into favouritism at 13-20. If Movistar put their mind to it, though, this could be a cracking race all the way to the line. So that's then the classifications. I'll just go up here for the stage, but I want to pop on to the stage profile first, and let's have a look. We've got a tough day today. It's a flattish start, and then we've got a Cat 4 climb, a kilometre at 8.4% alpha. They've thrown a lot of those little ones into the Tour de France this year. In fact, we've got two fairly steepish little rises here just before the sprint. Now, I don't know, a kilometre at 8.4%, I don't know if that's enough of a climb for Bora to put Bennett under some pressure. Probably not. I doubt you'd drop him. But if they go hard enough, and I expect Bora to potentially go hard up these climbs, they're going to try and put Bennett under pressure, I believe, because here's the first intermediate sprint. They'd like Sagan to get some points there. The other option is if Bennett thinks he can get over those short climbs quite well, is we might actually even have Quick-Step putting the pressure on. Because if it does come to a straight sprint between Sagan and Bennett in this Tour de France, well, there's only been one winner so far. So this sprint will be the first fascinating rendezvous of today's Tour de France stage. Really looking forward to that one. And of course, just after that, we go into an incredibly lengthy climb. It's only categorized as 10 kilometers. But if you look at this here, I mean, there's your 10 kilometers, that final bit. But check what you've got to get to get to the categorized climb. So if we look at that, it starts basically at about 38 km. I mean, we're talking close to 30 kilometers of climbing here. It's not overly steep. This section probably looks about 4% or something on this. Average is 5.6. But I mean, this is going to give the breakaway riders, the strong climbers, every chance of getting away. And I also expect the likes of Bora Hansgrohe to try and control the peloton at this point. They'll let the break go, but they won't want them to get too much speed. But their aim on this climb is going to be quite simple. Get Peter Sagan over the top and make sure Sam Bennett is spat out at behind. And that's going to mean if Sagan can stay in and contest for the stage, when he can make massive gains in the green jersey. As I said, from what I saw yesterday, I can't see Bennett hanging in there, but Sagan is certainly climbing well, and he's starting to sprint well as well. We're in for a very, very exciting stage today. Another Cat 3 climb, and then a bit of a valley road onto 1.4 kilometers here, a Cat 4 at 5.6%. That's over here. These are uncategorized here, but also quite a bit of climbing to be done. But it's these two little climbs at the end which are quite fascinating. It's both 1.4 kilometers at 5.6 and 4.8%. That could be a launch pad for an attack, and it could also be a final chance to try and potentially drop someone by burning it, because at the end of a long stage, 1.4 kilometers at sort of 5% is not going to be that easy for some of the guys, particularly some of the sprinters. I can't see the likes of Ewan or Bennett making it to the finish here, and certainly the betting suggests that they won't. Let's go on to the betting, and I'm popping onto World Sports Betting, and let's just give you a quick reminder, if I can get the mouse working here, of their special. If you back any rider to win a Tour de France stage and he doesn't win but he comes second, they'll refund your stake as a free bet. So a nice offer there from World Sports Betting. Let's get into the betting itself. Vote van Aert, he's 9-2. The thinking of this is that the stage is going to be too tough for most of the sprinters, but at the same time, not expected that the GC classification guys are going to be doing anything today in terms of attacking each other. And for that reason, Vote van Aert won't really have to work for Rogic. It's not a particularly windy stage. And that means if he's there in a selected bunch of 40 or 50 at the end or whatever's left, they'll give him the go-ahead to sprint. And he's certainly shown how strong he is at the moment. So he's actually the 9-2 favorite. The problem is things could go wrong on the stage. We could have a situation where he does have to potentially work for Rogic. There's obviously also the potential of a breakaway. But 9-2, I would say if I'm looking to back one of these guys at the top of the boards, I'd probably wait for an in-play and have a look what I could get on them. Then Peter Sagan, 6-1. He still hasn't had his stage win. This is definitely one that Bora will be targeting. And obviously he'd be looking to gain massive points here on Bennett. Matteo Trentin, I do fancy him. This stage should suit him perfectly. He's won here before in the Tour de France, and he can climb probably better than, well, Wout van Aert can climb better than him, but he can climb better than even Sagan. So Bora shouldn't be able to get rid of Trentin, and he has shown that he can have the speed over Sagan potentially. So he's definitely a runner. But for me, I'll just be so happy if he comes in because I've got that green jersey podium bet on him. But he's a runner. Mark Hirschi, will he go alone? Those climbs look like the perfect launch pad for him to attack and go off alone. 14-1. He's been absolutely superb. Greg van Avermaet's clearly got good legs. 14-1 must also have a chance. And we go down in the betting. You can find your fancy there. It's one of those days where, we could have a very, very big upset as well. But let's go into the betting. Just a reminder, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, do hit the subscribe button. Make sure you get all of our Tour de France previews and, of course, our rugby betting previews as well. Let's go into my bets for the day, though. I'm going to start off here. Quarter unit, and I'm not going big here on the win bets. These, Tour de France betting is very different for me to any other sport. It's really about having an interest and just enjoying it. Obviously, if you win, it's great. And every now and again, I do have a bit of a strike, like I did on Yates losing yellow last Sunday. Quarter unit, Boassenhagen, a win at 33-1. This man's a tough sprinter. He's shown that he's got decent legs to me in this Tour de France. And if the likes of Sagan and Trentin can make it there to the end, well, EBH has every chance as well. And he's fast after a long, hard day. This is 194 kilometers. This stage, if he can get over the early climbs, should suit him pretty well. Let's go to the next one then. I'm going for Alberto Bettiol. I probably need a tougher stage here, but he's got quite a nice little sprint finish. I had him yesterday, and unfortunately, he got a mechanical. Was it yesterday or the day before? Now I can't even remember. But he got a mechanical. So I don't really know. It wasn't that he had bad legs that he didn't contend. And he's certainly a guy who could use that last climbs as a bit of a launch pad and quite capable of winning from a small sprint group as well. So that's Bettiol there at 40-1. One of my main bets for the stage, I'm going Luka Mejdek over Jasper Stuyven at 12-10. I'm basing this purely on price. I think Mejdek he's also a strong sprinter. If there's a small bunch sprint at the end, I expect both Stuyven and Mejdek to be there. And for me, Mejdek has got quite a bit of speed and can take him. Just a bit of value there. It's not that I fancy him all that strongly, but if I'd seen Stuyven at 12-10, I probably would have taken Stuyven. Just a little bit of a bet on price there. And finally, and this one I quite like today, 2 unit, the winning margin, 1 second or less, 9-10 at Sunbet. I'm expecting this to be a small sprint finish, whether it be between 6 guys or 12 guys or 20 or 30 guys. So I do think it's going to be fairly close at the line. Of course, a lone breakaway rider could clear a win. And if that happens, well, let's just hope it's someone like Alberto Bettiol so I can grab the 40-1. I don't know who spelled winning like that. It's absolutely a disgraceful spelling there. 2 I's in winning. Never knew about that. Right, everyone, that's it for now. Do let me know in the in the comment section below who you think is going to win the stage. I'll also be just posting my bets there just to keep a record of it. And we've also got a link in the description box below to the Good for the Game forum. Here we have other punters placing their bets. Well done to the van yesterday who backed Martinez with about 120 kilometers to go. So keep an eye on that as well. It's been a bit of a long one, but it's going to be an exciting stage, an exciting day. And I'll see you back here for stage 15.